Hi everyone, welcome to my video. I have something special to talk about today, and I wanted to promote another indie author's books. She just finished writing the fourth and final book in the series, and those of us who are fangirls are very sad and depressed because, as if we know, it's the last that we'll hear from these characters for a while, at least. Thankfully, she has promised that she probably will not leave them alone forever and will probably write some short stories or some background things or what have you, but the books are over. So I wanted to share them with you, and I mentioned them on my blog before, and I also mentioned them in a previous vlog that I did. It was the most recent Very Awesome Vlog Challenge, and I mentioned that I was looking forward to reading the fourth and final book in the series as the release for 2017. So that being said, I'm here to talk about the Blades of Acktar series by Tricia Mingerink. I have had the honor and pleasure of meeting Tricia Mingerink. She actually lives in the same state that I do, so that was really exciting. And at the time of meeting her, I actually hadn't read her books. I think I might have started to read the first one. No, I did. You know what? I did read her books. But I went for my sister because she read them first, and she needed a driver, so I drove her to where Tricia Mingerink was holding the signings. And we got to meet her, and she was super sweet and kind and very encouraging to me as a writer, and I got to ask her a couple of writing questions. But that being said, I thought I would go through a quick overview of each book and tell you my thoughts on them, what I liked about them, and then move on from there. So, the first book in the Blades of Acktar series is Dare, and I'm borrowing my sister's physical copies because I have them on Kindle, but I don't have them in physical copies yet. But this book was a really good setup for the rest of it. Oh my word. The beginning started off, I felt like a little slow, but because she has to build world building, it was actually really well done. So it's set in medieval times, but it's a fantasy world, but with no magic or like mystical creatures or anything like that. Which is my favorite kind of fantasy because it's a lot more realistic, but you're not tied to actual historical happenings and so forth, which is what you were tied to if you tried to write an actual medieval book. That being said, I really enjoyed the series. It's very realistic from the point of wounds, injuries, like just happenings, and something that I think Tricia Mingerink did brilliantly in the books was the entire political landscape of what was happening in her country. It was really amazing because like she handled all of like the way the people would think, the way that the nobility would think, the king, the person who was in charge, all of that was handled very well, and I think it made it very realistic and amazing. So the book starts off about third blade, Leith Torin. Oh my word, Leith. The deer. He starts off very broken and lost in book one, and I don't want to give away spoilers, so the reason I'm doing this video is to show you like what I like about them without giving away crazy spoilers. So I'm trying not to tell you about storylines, which is actually really hard. But the characters, speaking of which, were so deep and well-rounded, which is another sign of awesome writing. Leith, Retta, Brandy, they all had amazing character arcs. They all had struggles, they were all human. That's what I loved about this series so much, was the characters, as well as the political landscape. So there's a lot of things I loved about the series. But the second book is Deny, and this follows the resistance as things start panning out. And then book 3 is Defy. This one is really thick, and there was a huge cliffhanger between book 2 and 3. Not fun for the reader because some of us, actually I didn't have to wait, but some people had to wait because they read it as they came out, and that was actually really hard for people. The other ones that I have are on Kindle, so I'm trying to pull those up. And again, it's a 4-book series, but she did publish a short novella. So let me go to the novella because that's 3.5. The novella was really good, and it gave actually a lot of backstory, and it kind of tided us over until the 4th book came out. But that being said, it was really cool because she, like I said, gave us this backstory of the somebody, I can't tell you because it's a spoiler, of somebody that went through the whole course of the books and you didn't find out about until book 3. So definitely don't read the novella until you've read book 3. But it was really cool. The books are so amazing. My one caution is I would recommend them for ages, it depends on what your family's preferences are, but I would recommend them for ages 16 and up. They say what YA fiction, but I think they're a little gruesome at times for that, for my tastes. And there were a few cringe-worthy moments throughout the series. I mean, there's violence. And my camera battery died, so I'm back. I was talking about the violence in the books. Ugh. I was talking about the violence in the books, and like I said, there were a few cringeworthy moments throughout, and a little bit of gore just because of like injuries or torture or what have you. So that's why I would recommend them for a little bit more on the higher end of young adult age range. But again, it's up to you and your family's preferences. So that being said, I would like to move on to talking about the plot of the books because, oh my goodness, Tricia Mingerink has taught me a lot about plotting just from reading her books. Really, really amazing. They're so good that they're very suspenseful at times, but they're also equally balanced by moments of calm, introspection, humor. It's just really, really well put together, which is another reason I love the books so much. Tricia Mingerink is an amazing writer. She did really, really well with these books. I'm really actually anxious to see her write something different. Now that this series is over, I'm really excited to see what she's going to put out next. I would highly, highly recommend these books to you if you're a little bit older. I think they're very enjoyable, especially if you like more like medieval fantasy fiction, that type of stuff. It was really, really cool. And also loving like medical stuff. I can't help but say this, but a lot of the injury things are like really cool just because, like I said, I have a interest in medical things. I've studied a lot of like first aid and EMT books and stuff like that. So I really enjoy learning stuff about that. So I was also really pleased to note that a lot of her books are very accurate when it comes to injuries and so forth. So that's pretty much it. The other thing that's really amazing, I love how she weaves scripture into it. A lot of you know, YA fantasy books, they usually have their own, this is going to be hard to explain, but usually fantasy books that I've read, if they're Christian books, they're going to have their own like spiritual system that's based off of our spiritual system, if that makes sense. So, for instance, in J.L. Knight's books, the Chronicles, Ilian Chronicles, she has created like this whole ecosystem of their god, and they're called something different, and their scriptures are different. So it's like, but they're similar to ours. So it's like kind of this different thing where like, it's so hard to explain, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, where they have like, it's a different world and they have a different god and a different thing, but it's based on our god and our scriptures and that type of thing. What I loved about the Blades of Acktar is that she used the scriptures and our god in it. And I felt like that was so cool, but also encouraging that you can do that and make it work. It was so, so good. She, you know, each book has a particular Bible character or story that is woven in and encourages the character the book's about. For instance, in book 1, she tied the particular character's struggles to Daniel's struggles in the Bible. It was so amazing and so awesome that I really, really applaud her for that and found it very fascinating and very well written and very well done. And like I said, encouraging that it doesn't have to be, you can be different and have it still turn out really amazing. So her books, I love them also for that purpose. The life lessons, the scripture lessons woven throughout were beautiful, very well thought out, and very well put together. I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to say because this video was not very well planned. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on the Blades of Acktar series. I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope it encouraged you to get a copy of the book. I recently gave away this book on my blog, the first book of the series. Yeah, definitely go check them out, and I will link below what where you can purchase them. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment below if you want to see more like this. I did not really plan this video, and it kind of ended up probably a little bit rambly, I'm sure. And there will definitely be some editing involved, but if you liked it, comment below and let me know if you'd like to see more of these. See you guys next time. God bless. Bye.